Let's continue with the second question which we have selected about this topic, which is why do many African people dream of emigrating to other countries, and what are the many challenges and the difficulties these immigrants face up abroad? Again, Ms. Sarah.
Okay. African youth are often driven by what I like to call push factors in home and pull factors abroad. So in this case, common push factors in home, we can talk about weak governance, we can talk about poor access to healthcare, education, we can talk about high unemployment, and in contrast, we have the pull factors aboard. So pull factors can be the hope for a higher paying job. We can talk about the quality of healthcare and education, and of course, the higher personal freedom that a person has. Of course, all these factors can lead to frustration and the urgent need to leave the country. But of course, they're looking for better opportunities, but that doesn't stop them from being vulnerable and face many risks like discrimination, like searching for a job can be very difficult for immigrants. And we're talking about difficulties in the labor market, we're talking about language barriers, so all these risks we have, and in some cases, even worse.
Okay, I really appreciate it for your brilliant comment about this, our second question. Then I continue with Mr. Smith. Why many African youth dream of emigrating to other countries?
Yeah, being an African, because I'm in the shoes of someone who really lives this, and we lack so much opportunity. This is one of the current facts that a lot of youth are facing today, because we live in a country where most parents don't have enough possibility to support their kids in order to get the first things that people need in order to have a normal life. So even just to study, people struggle so much. And when it comes to finding a job, that's a real issue in the country. So if you ask a lot of youth today, whether you want to go abroad or not, most of them, I could say 90% of them would say, I want to go abroad. Because of what? It is very difficult to live here. It is very difficult to survive here. It is very difficult to maintain yourself financially, economically. People know that even today you need to work, and it's tough when you see that a lot of young people, they are graduated and they cannot get a job. You see, that's a very serious problem. And so people say, I studied and I finished and I cannot find a job. So what am I doing here? So he finds that the solution for that is going abroad. And the person doesn't think twice whenever an opportunity comes.
Okay, appreciate it, Miss Claudia. Is the same question?
Yeah. Firstly, I like to say that nowadays I can affirm that life in Africa hasn't been so easy for everyone. Living here is like casting another man's leg to some people, and African people believe that life abroad is better. When I say life is better, I'm talking about healthcare, education, and security, and also some other factors. But we forget that wherever the place we are, we can have a struggle, and immigrants can suffer discrimination, prejudice, and difficult finding a job. So that's why I think even life abroad is better. Africans should research more about the country they want to live, so that they shouldn't suffer these kind of things abroad.
Okay, really appreciate it. But as you have said, many of us, of course, want to live and move abroad. But what I have to say, as the first question says, which are the main challenges and difficulties? Do you think the youth are aware of the challenges and difficulties they might face up over there?
If they're not aware, they should. Because if you're planning on leaving the country, then of course you need to study the destination language. You need to study the culture. Because sometimes you might not involve in the culture and might not participate directly, but you need to respect whether you like it or not. You need to understand the struggles that that country goes to so you can have a smoother process of immigration.
Great. So, Mrs. Smith, the question is almost the same. Are they aware of difficulties and challenges they might face up abroad?
Most of them are not, but they don't
Okay.
care.
They don't care.
What they care is just leaving the country, no matter
No matter what it takes.
circumstance, no matter what it takes, no matter the condition. He just wants to go. And I've heard people saying, "I don't care wherever I go, since it's not Africa." They openly say that.
Yeah.
So that's something concerning because they just don't want to be here anymore. They know that by no means, even if I don't have any skill, I'm going to survive. I can sweep the street, I can clean in the house, I can do the dishes, I can do the laundry. I'm going to survive. I just want to go, I don't care.
Wow.
That's what they say.
Great. Are they aware of difficulties and the challenges?
I believe they aren't because their mind, I think, in their mind, they just think, since I leave Africa to another country which is not in Africa, I'm gonna have a good life. But they should know it's not like this. Everywhere there is a struggle, and before leaving, they should find out more about each struggle a country can offer to them. They aren't aware of this, but I think they should be. They just believe that living in Africa is going to be better for me. It's going to give me a better conditions, better job, better education. But it's not only about living. When you leave, you have to be prepared. You have to develop some skills that are going to help you get in these better conditions of life.
Really appreciate it. Also, of course, many people at any cost they want to leave the continent